A book that reshaped how we understand intelligence, talent, success, relationships, leadership, and personal growth. That book is called Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by psychologist Carol Dweck. This book is not about motivation in the traditional sense. It's not about hype or shortcuts or overnight success. It's about something far deeper. It's about the beliefs you carry about yourself and how those beliefs silently shape every decision you make. In Mindset, Carol Dweck explains that the way we think about our abilities determines whether we grow, stagnate, or give up entirely. She introduces two fundamental ways people see themselves and the world: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. These mindsets influence how we learn in school, how we handle failure, how we approach relationships, how we lead teams, and how far we allow ourselves to go in life. This documentary is a deep exploration of what this book teaches, not just in theory, but in real life. We will explore how mindsets are formed, how they hold us back without us realizing it, and how we can consciously shift them to unlock confidence, resilience, and long-term success. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming better. And it starts by understanding one powerful truth. What if the biggest thing holding you back in life is not your intelligence, not your background, not your resources, but a belief you adopted without ever questioning it? What if the limits you feel are not real limits at all, but stories you learn to tell yourself? Every day, without realizing it, we answer one quiet question over and over again. When something is hard, do we lean in or do we pull away? When we fail, do we learn or do we shut down? When we see someone else succeed, do we feel inspired or threatened? The answer to those questions is shaped by one thing: your mindset. Carol Dweck, a Stanford psychologist, spent decades studying why some people thrive in the face of challenge while others collapse, why some grow stronger through struggle while others stop trying altogether. What she discovered changed how we understand success, learning, and human potential. She found that people tend to operate from one of two core belief systems. One is called the fixed mindset. The other is called the growth mindset. And the difference between them can quietly determine the direction of an entire life. A fixed mindset is built on the belief that your abilities are set in stone. You are smart or you are not, talented or untalented, capable or incapable. In a fixed mindset, success means proving your worth. Failure means exposing your flaws. Effort feels dangerous because if you try hard and still fail, what does that say about you? So you avoid challenge. You stay where it feels safe. You protect your image instead of developing your ability. At first, this mindset feels comforting, but over time, it becomes a cage. People in a fixed mindset stop growing not because they can't, but because they're afraid of what growth might reveal. They stop raising their hand. They stop applying. They stop starting. They stop believing. And worst of all, they start calling that fear realism. Now here's the part that's uncomfortable. Most people don't think they have a fixed mindset. They think they're just being honest about who they are. But listen closely to the language people use every day. I'm just not a math person. I've never been good at relationships. I don't have a creative bone in my body. I'm too old to change now. Those statements feel harmless. But each one is a decision. A decision to stop trying. A decision to stop growing. A decision to stop becoming. Carol Dweck's research showed that these beliefs are often formed early in life. When children are praised for being smart instead of for working hard, they learn that their value comes from performance, not progress. They learn that mistakes are dangerous. They learn that struggle means something is wrong with them. So when the work gets hard, they quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they don't want to find out that they might not be good enough. Now let's look at the other side. The growth mindset. A growth mindset is built on the belief that abilities can be developed, that intelligence is not fixed, that skill is built, That effort is not a sign of weakness, but a path to mastery. In a growth mindset, failure is not an identity. It's information, feedback, data, something to learn from. People with a growth mindset don't believe they can do anything instantly. They believe they can learn almost anything over time. They understand that progress is not linear, that growth is messy, that becoming takes patience. And because of that belief, they behave differently. They take on challenges. They persist through difficulty. They recover from setbacks. They don't ask, will this make me look smart? They ask, will this help me grow? And that single shift changes everything. Let's pause for a moment. Think about something in your life you've labeled as not for you, something you tried once and decided you weren't cut out for. Now ask yourself this question honestly. Did you fail or did you stop learning? Because there is a difference. Carol Dweck's studies in schools revealed something extraordinary. Students who were praised for effort rather than intelligence became more resilient. They chose harder problems. They stayed engaged longer. They improved more over time. Students praised for intelligence did the opposite. They avoided challenge. They gave up faster. Their performance declined, not because they were less capable, but because they were protecting a fragile identity. The message is simple, but powerful. When we tie our worth to being good, we stop being willing to get better. Now let's take this beyond school. Let's talk about relationships. In a fixed mindset relationship, conflict feels like failure. Feedback feels like rejection. If your partner is unhappy, it must mean you're not good enough. So you defend. You shut down. You avoid hard conversations. You protect your ego instead of strengthening the bond. But in a growth mindset relationship, conflict is not a verdict. It's an opportunity, an invitation to understand each other better, to communicate more clearly, to grow together. People with a growth mindset believe relationships are built, not found, that love is practiced, not proven, that effort deepens connection, and that belief changes how they show up. They listen instead of react. They repair instead of withdraw. They grow instead of give up. Now think about leadership. Fixed mindset leaders need to look competent at all costs. They avoid admitting mistakes. They punish failure. They surround themselves with people who won't challenge them. And slowly, innovation dies. Growth mindset leaders do the opposite. They model learning. They invite feedback. They reward experimentation. They understand that progress comes from iteration, not perfection. When Satya Nadella became CEO of Microsoft, he transformed the company by shifting its culture from know-it-all to learn-it-all. That mindset shift reignited creativity, collaboration, and growth. Not because people suddenly became more talented, but because they were finally allowed to learn. Now here's the most important part. Mindset is not a personality trait. It is not something you either have or don't have. It is a habit of thought. And habits can be changed, but only if you become aware of them. The first step is noticing your fixed mindset voice. The voice that says, I'm not good at this. The voice that says, I always mess this up. The voice that says, why even try? When you hear that voice, don't fight it. Name it. That's my fixed mindset talking. Then reframe it. I'm not good at this yet. I can improve with practice. This is uncomfortable because I'm learning. That single word, yet, opens the door to growth. Next, you practice. You take small risks. You stay in the discomfort a little longer. You reflect instead of judge. You replace shame with curiosity. And slowly, something changes. Not overnight. Not all at once. But over time. Your relationship with challenge softens. Your fear of failure loosens. Your belief in yourself strengthens. Carol Dweck reminds us that the goal is not to eliminate failure. The goal is to learn how to respond to it. Because the people who grow the most are not the ones who avoid difficulty. They are the ones who stay engaged when things get hard. So let me ask you this. Where in your life are you trying to prove yourself instead of improve yourself? What would change if you let go of the need to be perfect? What could you become if you allowed yourself to be a beginner again? Growth mindset is not about positive thinking. It's about honest effort. It's about resilience. It's about choosing growth over comfort again and again. And that choice is available to you right now. You are not finished. You are not behind. You are not defined by your past attempts. You're in the middle of becoming. And becoming is better than being. So take one belief you've been holding tightly. One belief that says, "This is just how I am," and loosen it. Replace it with a better question. What could I become if I kept going? That question can change everything. You are not done. You are growing. Keep going.